Hey everyone, and welcome back to my channel. My name is Josh, and this is your stimulus check update for the next stimulus package for Tuesday, October 6th. I hope everyone is off to a good and safe start to their Tuesday so far. In this video, I'll be discussing updates in regards to the next relief package and the second stimulus check. I'll also be discussing unemployment, what Mark Meadows has to say about more relief taking place, and then I'll be wrapping up this video by answering some of the comments and questions that I received in my previous video. But first, if you wouldn't mind real quickly liking this video, giving me a big thumbs up. It really just helps with the YouTube algorithm in terms of pushing this video out to other viewers like you, and hopefully helping other people like you as well. Okay, so we are now officially in this virus pandemic for more than 7 months, and frustrations continue to boil for many unemployment residents across the US. One resident in North Carolina, Nicolette Steinberg, says that she's already exhausted all of her family's savings and that they have no money left. Steinberg said that she filed for unemployment when her workplace was forcibly shut down way back in March due to state restrictions. Now, she did get approved initially, but whenever her regular benefits expired in June and she filed for emergency unemployment, she ran into problems with North Carolina's Division of Employment Security. Months later, with the help of a local news channel, she finally had her payment approved. However, this has been a common issue among so many people I've seen across the US. I mean, it's hard enough losing a job, but when you have to wait several months just to receive your unemployment, that's just unbearable. With that said, if you are or you were receiving unemployment benefits, how timely did you receive them? Did you receive them quicker than you expected, or did they take a long time to arrive? Let me know down in the comments section below. In other unemployment related news, the wait for many states to even receive the funds from the lost wage assistance continues on. The residents of Kansas can expect to receive payments on this Friday, October 9th. Residents of Virginia can expect to receive their payments around October 15th, and residents of Wisconsin can expect to receive their payments on the 31st of October. We still haven't seen any official dates for Nevada, New Jersey, or Alaska, but hopefully it won't take much longer than a couple of weeks for them. Most of the other states have already depleted their funds from FEMA at this point, and now we can only hope that Congress can finally get their act together to extend these benefits on a much longer term, more stable basis. In stimulus-related news, White House Chief of Staff Mark Meadows was asked in an interview where they were now in negotiations with the Democrats and if we should be optimistic about a deal taking place. Meadows said that there was definitely potential for a deal taking place as long as politics don't get in the way again. He said that Secretary Mnuchin and Speaker Pelosi have been talking and that the two sides have been in contact to make sure they find a way to move forward. Meadows went on to say that even if a large comprehensive bill is not possible because of a few things that are out there, such as the major differences, he said he would like to go ahead and pass the things that the two sides do agree with. So basically, in this interview, Meadows is once again calling for a skinny deal. The reporter in this interview told Meadows that Speaker Pelosi is completely against a skinny deal, to which Meadows acknowledged. Time and time again, Nancy Pelosi has turned down proposals for standalone bills on certain measures that the two sides do agree with. So in regards to stimulus checks, for example, even though both the Republicans and the Democrats agree on sending out another round of $1,200 stimulus checks, Pelosi doesn't want to pass a standalone bill for just the checks. Instead, she's holding out to make sure that she's able to get the aid she needs for state and local government, as well as other measures she feels will help crush the virus. Republicans, on the other hand, obviously feel that she's holding the other measures hostage and keeping Americans from receiving aid by having such demands. Meadows said that at this point, it's on other Americans to put pressure on Congress to say it's time to come to the table. He said that President Trump has compromised over and over again on a number of issues, and it's time for Pelosi to allow more aid to be passed. Meadows said there are a lot of people who continue to hurt, who are waiting on stimulus, and that the president is committed to getting a deal done, but that we need to make sure that we move quickly in a fiscally responsible manner. So here we have Meadows once again sort of playing the bad cop to Stephen Mnuchin's good cop. As you know, good cop, bad cop is basically a police interrogation technique used in which one officer will be more sympathetic or protective towards a suspect, whereas the bad cop will have more of an aggressive approach. So we have Stephen Mnuchin sort of acting as the good cop, saying, okay, we're more than willing to raise our offer to make sure we spend whatever we can to get a deal. Mnuchin is frequently talking with Pelosi, sort of playing the good guy and letting her know that he's willing to meet her where she thinks is best, in a way. This, of course, makes him likable to Pelosi and other Democrats. Then we have Mark Meadows, who is sort of playing the bad cop and the one who's playing more hardball with the other side. He's basically coming forward with the approach of telling Nancy Pelosi and the Democrats that they're willing to piecemeal this together or walk away completely. Meadows is telling Pelosi that he doesn't want to pass a bill with a ton of reckless spending towards things like state and local government that aren't really needed. He wants a targeted approach and isn't holding back from telling Pelosi what his cold hard truth is. With this method, he's hoping that Democrats are more willing to compromise with him and fear that they'll walk away completely. The problem is, of course, Nancy Pelosi has already shown that Democrats are willing to just walk away. For months now, Pelosi has rejected the notion for standalone measures. She wants everything in one bill or nothing at all. This, of course, despite the fact that she is willing to pass a standalone measure to bail the airlines out and keep their employees hired, but unwilling to pass standalone measures for other American families. And while she has come down from the $3.4 trillion in the HEROES Act they passed way back in May down to $2.2 trillion, she doesn't seem willing to come down anymore. Even though she fully knew the most recent bill the House passed at $2.2 trillion wouldn't stand a chance of actually passing in the Senate, she went ahead and voted on it anyways. So even though the good cop, bad cop method works in a lot of interrogations, it's probably not going to be working with Pelosi. She's holding firm where she is unless we see a huge change in her thought process or she begins to finally feel more pressure from some of the more moderate Democrats. And with less than 1 month before Election Day, we really need to see this get passed before then. If not, it could be a while. It's possible that Pelosi could even try to hold out until after the election in hopes that Joe Biden defeats Trump and that the Democrats can also take a hold of the Senate. By doing so, it's possible they could even try to push their original $3.4 trillion bill through Congress and get everything they wanted originally. If the Democrats had the majority in the House and the Senate, along with Joe Biden in the White House, they could basically push anything through unless Republicans use the filibuster. All in all, we do still have a lot to be optimistic about though. There is still a very good chance that something does get passed before the election. Pelosi and Mnuchin continue to speak over the phone, and they plan to have yet another phone conversation later on today. It's our best hope that they can finalize some type of deal by the end of this week, where at that point we can hope for the House to vote on it next week. We really just have to hope that Pelosi is willing to go below $2 trillion, because otherwise, even if Mnuchin does agree to a $2 trillion figure, it may be difficult to get any such bill through the Senate. With anything though, being that we're just before election season, anything is certainly possible. In the meantime, as always, all we can continue to do is stay strong, prepare for the worst, but hope for the best. Okay, so at this point in time, I'm going to move right along to answering some of the comments and questions that I received in my previous video. And if you have any other questions for me, please feel free to leave them in the comment section below. I do try to answer as many of the comments and questions as I possibly can, but for those comments and questions I'm not able to respond to, I do try to pick some of the more popular ones to answer in the next video in video form. Okay, so without further ado, let me go ahead and jump into the first comment of today's video, which is from Tracy. Tracy says, "Good morning, Josh. When will the second stimulus check come out?" Okay, thank you so much for your question, Tracy. And unfortunately, we still do not have an official date. The two sides are getting a little bit closer, so we can only hope that they will finally come to some type of agreement over the next couple of weeks. Once Stephen Mnuchin and Nancy Pelosi agree to a deal, we have to hope that the House and the Senate will pass the bill, so then only President Trump will have to sign off on it. At that point, after President Trump approves the bill, stimulus checks should start going out the following week. And since the IRS already has everyone's information from the first round, they should be going out much quicker this time around. Okay, moving right along to the next question of today's video, which is from Clyde. Clyde says, "Good morning, Josh. Question. I haven't received my first stimulus check, but the question is, do they send those payments out on debit cards, and do you know what kind of debit card it would be? Where would it be coming from?" Alright, thank you so much for your question, Clyde, and I'm so sorry that you're still waiting on your first stimulus payment. hopefully it won't be too much longer for it to arrive. As far as the debit card goes, they were sending those out for people who had their tax returns processed in either Andover or Austin, so only a few people actually received those cards. More than likely, you'll end up receiving your payment via direct deposit, and you should also be able to see the method in which they'll be sending your payment through the payment portal. Alright, moving right along to the last question of today's video, which is from Tyder. Tyder says, Josh, since it's taken so long for the second stimulus check to go out, do you think there's any chance they would make it more than $1,200? Thank you so much for your question, and while I do think that the next check should be more than $1,200 just because it's been such a long time, I just don't see it happening. In proposals by both the Democrats and the Republicans, they only have us receiving a one-time $1,200 stimulus payment. Now, if we do see another huge wave of the virus and the government ends up shutting everything down once again, it's certainly possible we may have a third stimulus check, but more than likely, if they do pass a bill, this will probably be the last one. Alright, so on that note, I'm going to go ahead and wrap up this video. If you did enjoy the content in this video and you'd like to see more videos like it, please consider subscribing to my YouTube channel. It is completely free to do so and it's a great support to me. Also, if you'd like to receive 2 free stocks from Webull, valued all the way up to $1,600, please feel free to claim those free stocks by clicking the link in the description box below. And until next time, I'll see you guys, and I hope you have a great day today.